Hi, I'm Jaden. Welcome to my channel. If you're watching this video, you're probably not subscribed, as my analytics show that over 90% of you guys are not subscribed. Oh, that's even sadder than I thought it'd be. So if you don't want me to be the saddest channel on this platform, it'd mean a lot to me if you subscribed. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this series, it's basically a review series where I just review or talk about anime, movies, gaming, whatever that I saw recently. And the latest thing that I saw was Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I just saw it today, and I can only say that it absolutely blew me away. It was everything that people are saying about it. I saw it get 10 out of 10s. All of it. I'm gonna get into it. This is the first part of this video is going to be spoiler free, so you don't have to worry. I'm gonna get into spoilers later in the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the animation. This was some of the best animation that I've seen in recent time. Like, we've seen crazy stuff, like, you know, we've seen like stuff like the Dragon Ball Super movie, we've seen Demon Slayer season 2, but this I feel like it took it up and just a notch even higher than that. And you know, Jujutsu Kaisen is all about taijutsu, you know what I'm saying? It's all about martial arts. So you know, they really, you could tell they went hard. You have to see it for yourself. It definitely blew me away. So yeah, the animation was really good. For the music, the scores are usually always really good with anime in general, especially with anime movies. There was no different here. The scores were beautiful. They did a really good job with some of the emotional moments. I remember one song at one moment that I can't talk about. Definitely got me in my feels a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the music was really good. So yeah, animation, music, and now I'm just gonna get into some of the story beats, you know, without going into spoilers. So before I say anything, I need to preface this with the fact that I had no idea what the movie was actually gonna be about. So sometimes I like to do this thing. I did this with Demon Slayer. Was probably the most recent one that I've done it with. A lot of times I don't really like to watch mainstream anime. I don't know what it is, or like super hyped up anime. I don't know what it is about me. The same thing with Demon Slayer. I decided to binge the whole thing right before the movie came out. I actually really liked the anime on its own. I thought it was different enough, and it gave us its own feel, its own style, even though it has a lot of similarities. Other shonen, you know, it is just kind of another shonen, you know. It's got hand signs from Naruto, it's got the classic tournament arc. I already really liked the story on its own, and so I had no idea that this was going to be set in the past. I figured it out kind of like 30 minutes in, when I was like, okay, there's this, obviously, you know, it kind of becomes obvious. Only watched the trailer once, and so I didn't think much of it. You just kind of automatically assume that the story is moving forward, and that's what I assumed here with the movie. And I was, for the first 30 minutes, sorely confused at the fact that, like, okay, when is this set? Who is this other guy? You know, they gave us a whole new main character for the entire movie, which was at first a little, you know, unnerving, a little scary, but they really pulled it off. I could honestly say that I might like this main character even more than Itadori. I think his name was Yuta. So again, without getting into spoilers, I thought the movie story-wise was probably perfect. There was nothing missing. It actually had everything that you could want in a really good story in a 2-hour runtime. It was damn near perfect. It had amazing pacing, drama, romance, action, beautiful fight scenes, choreography, like deep moments, you know, and it really utilized that 2-hour runtime to build up this brand new character in a similar fashion to a movie that I know everyone's seen, Demon Slayer Mugen Train. You know, it did a similar thing where they kind of introduced a character like Rengoku, who was a character we only had 2 hours with to get to know and learn and fall in love with before it was brutally ripped away from us at the end of the movie. And so that's kind of what that's kind of what the feel is for this one here too. Throughout the movie, you're kind of expecting this character to die off. That's the only thing that makes sense. Throughout the entire first season, there's no mention of this character's existence at all. So we're like, so it almost feels like for a large majority of the movie that this might be some sort of alternate dimension, this alternate first season, it kind of felt like it was like an alternate take on what the story could have been if he was the main character, because he actually gets to interact with all of the side characters at Jujutsu Tech. Characters like Maki, Panda, Toge, and they actually created a really cool dynamic that I really fell in love with throughout the course of the movie. I thought every single one of the characters had just really good chemistry with this new guy. You know, it's kind of crazy. You know, I feel like they were in some ways able to build a better connection on screen than Itadori was in over 23 episodes. What they're able to do with a tight-knit story, a tight-knit script, a 2-hour runtime, and they just pulled it off in every way. You know, there's really good pacing, really good interactions between the characters. We saw Gojo, you know, be cool as ever. We saw, you know, Maki be the same old Maki, but we actually got a little bit more of a vulnerable side of her. You know, Panda and Toge were a bit of the same, but we did get to see a little bit more of their characters throughout the film. And it's just everything that you could possibly want without even knowing that you needed this. You know, before seeing this movie, I expected to see Itadori just like go on some adventure. You know, obviously at the end of the first season, you get the teaser of them going on this crazy mission, and I thought that's what this movie was going to be about, but it was completely different. And surprisingly, it was even better than I probably expected it to be, with this new dynamic, this new team, this new story, new villains. Gato is the main villain of the story, and he was perfect, I think, as well. I think a lot of times with anime and stories in general, they kind of miss the mark with like villains' motivations. That's a really big thing for me. And this villain's motivations were clear as day. They didn't need to be anything more. It was literally just, Yuta's got power, I want that power, and I want to make this world into my image of what it should be, kind of like a Madara sort of thing. So, you know, you have to watch this movie for yourself to understand, like, this movie is literally just everything. Like, it's just that good. The animation is out of this world. It gave us some of the probably best fight scenes that I've seen maybe in anime history. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. Spoiler free. I'm not gonna just blatantly say, you know, some crazy stuff, but if you want to stick around, definitely be cautious. There are going to be spoilers involved in this section of the video. So getting into the actual story of what actually happened in the actual story of the story, you meet this character. His name is Yuta, and he is the new main character for the entire duration of the film, which was, as I said, surprising to me and a little bit jarring, a little bit nerve-wracking. We're like, okay, what the fuck? There's a new main character? Where has this guy been all this time? This is obviously set in the past. Like, does he die towards the end of the movie? And so essentially, and he has this friend at a really young age that had a really strong bond with him, sort of like a romantic bond, but they were just kids. And she gets into this tragic accident. Yuta is supposed to be this regular guy that is cursed with this tremendous power. Actual anime power scalers are gonna go crazy with it. I'm sure they already have. This is actually in the manga already, but yeah, the way that this character, the curse's name is called Rika, that he has attached to him. Some of the quotes in the movie are actually insane. Like, so like, we get the feel that this character is probably one of the most powerful characters or powerful curses that we'll see in the entire. So like, I can't express enough. Like, this character is supposed to be like it, which for him is a burden. You know, it's a traumatic experience for him. It's something that's really negative in his life, and it's actually a power that, of course, the main villain Suguru Gato is seeking, because he actually has the ability to absorb curses. And, you know, obviously the most powerful curse that we've ever seen, of course, you know what I'm saying, of course he wants that power. But Yuta, he actually gets to enroll in Jujutsu Tech. It's literally like an alternate universe. He's the main character, and he's interacting with the first year's Maki, Panda, and Toge. And that's the new team. You know, they formed this new team, but these are all younger versions of the characters that we've seen in the first season. So they get to know each other, and they form actually a really good dynamic, a really cool dynamic that I probably liked even more than Itadori's dynamic with his team. So Maki's a little bit more, she's colder and more vulnerable at the same time because she doesn't have that maturity to her. She's a little bit less mature. So we see a little bit more of a vulnerable side of Maki, which is really entertaining. And without going into too much spoilers, Yuta and Maki create, you know, a little interesting dynamic throughout the course of the movie. Toge, it was actually really good in this movie. He had some really good moments and a really good dynamic with Yuta as well. Panda is Panda. He's just that guy. He's just a cool guy. It just all created like a really good chemistry on screen, and story wise, I really liked it. I hope we get to see something like it again in the future. I don't know when. His goal essentially is to break the curse, but obviously, you know, it's a movie, tight-knit story. We've got to have some conflict. So towards the middle, so we know that Geto is he's after the curse power, and so in the middle of the story and towards the end, he just straight up Madaras everybody. He just pulls up, I mean, not Madara, he Obito's everybody. He just pulls up and establishes war on Jujutsu Tech, and you're just there watching this like, what the fuck? This happened? And he plans to bring 1,000 curses. Every Jujutsu sorcerer that's around is called up, and it builds up this crazy battle that takes place in the city. And this was probably, this was obviously the height of the movie, animation wise, action sequences wise. It gave us some of the coolest, just smoothest, silkiest animation, some of the best fight scenes, choreography, action. And without giving away too much, we see Gojo really go all out. Craziest animation, and just seeing it. It's been a while since you've seen a really strong character just be completely overpowered over his opponent, and just he beat they really just go all out against someone he's clearly stronger than. And that was definitely one of my favorite moments in the movie. I can't wait to see it again. We come to find out, of course, this is just a distraction. Geto is after Yuta. Maki gets handled in 0.5 seconds, so he sends Toge and Panda. They get handled in 2 seconds, and so it's just up to Yuta now. We're just thinking like he seems pretty talented, but he's supposed to be just this regular guy. His trump card is Riku, his curse. That's where all the power is, and that's what we're told throughout the entire course of the movie. But in this fight with Yuta versus Geto, we see him just unlock his potential over and over again throughout this fight. It was this could be one of the greatest fights of the year, and the year just started. I'm not overhyping this at all. Yuta versus Geto was one of the coolest fights in anime that I've seen in recent time. He got 5 Zenkai boosts in the course of the fight. He just gets cooler and cooler and cooler and unlocks new abilities. He's doing things that the strongest sorcerers are not capable of doing. So now we're just watching this okay, what the fuck is going on? Where is this kid? No, there's something up with this kid. And we do find out towards the end of the movie that there is a reason for his supernatural abilities in the world. But so yeah, Geto and Yuta have this crazy battle. Towards the end of the battle, they have their big clash, and obviously, as I said at the beginning of this video, Yuta is a character that is built up to die. After seeing Demon Slayer Mugen Train very recently, it's the same exact setup. We're expecting for Yuta to die here. He's not present anywhere in the anime. This is set in the past, so it just makes sense. That's what you're thinking throughout the entire course of the movie. Okay, this character has to die. It's just built up to feel that way throughout the course of the movie. But when they have their final clash, Yuta actually finds a way to get the upper hand and win, and he's actually still alive, and he's still around in the world today, which is crazy and a really ballsy move from the writers. And I actually really liked it. But at the same time, I do have to say that it did kind of dull the ending a little bit. It kind of ripped a super emotional moment that felt like it was getting built up throughout the course of the movie. And I would have felt the same way for this character that I did for Rengoku, absolutely, if they actually had pulled the trigger and killed him off. But no, this was different. They actually gave us a good ending. It was different, and I thought it was actually the right call, because I'm really interested to see what they do with this character in the future, because he's literally just around in the world. He's just chilling in Kenya by the end of the movie. He's He's just around, and there's a reason for his abilities appearing to be so natural, and so him being so talented and just getting better and better and better so quickly. And so yeah, with that being said, I don't have much else to say. This movie has everything you could possibly want in a movie, and you know, I understand the people that are giving it a 10 out of 10 because it's that good. It's got everything, you know. The only negative that I could say is just spoiled me talking, because we are so spoiled right now in anime. It didn't have like an edge. It didn't have something different or new or like crazy, you know, to like, but me saying that makes me feel crazy because it doesn't need that at all. It doesn't need an edge. Its edge is just it being good all around, amazing. Because I just rambled on and on and on about how good it is, I actually forgot to give it my rating. I like to call myself a harsh rater, but things have just been so good lately. It's part of the reason I didn't review Batman. But this Jujutsu Kaisen 0, man, I gotta give it like an 8.8 out of 10. It's just really that good. It's actually that good. Animation quality, fight scenes, drama, romance, story, action, everything you could want. Definitely watch it in theaters if you haven't already. And so yeah, with that being said, I don't have much else to say about this movie. If you're new to the channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here. If you enjoy this series, definitely click on the playlist. If you do like this series, I do record a lot of these that I don't actually post because I feel like, you know, a lot of people are able to say exactly what I have said. There's nothing really special for me to say about it, but I do consume a lot of content. I watch anime, movies, games, play games that I can review all the time. If you enjoy this series, definitely be sure to leave a like and a comment to let me know so I can put out, you know, maybe I should just put out everything that I record. Definitely comment down below what you guys thought of the movie if you have seen it already, and if not, what do you feel about it? But that's gonna be it for me. Okay.